Ladies and gentlemen, a national sponsor for the United States National High School Champions League starting 11, Siggi Nagele from Nagele College Planning. Oh, baby, I'm telling you, I'm going on record saying that B that I got, I think you could have hustled that into a pretty top-notch school for me back in the day.
I'm going to take you on the road and be my hype man. I love it.
Well, you never met a challenge that you gave up or turned away from. Anybody and everybody who's involved with the High School Champions League throughout America, they know about you, what you offer, all the places, for their, I believe it's 5 students that you would help, and then everybody else, has that. I'm saying right here, right now, if I was a high school and going to college, I could not afford not to have you. The minimal amount of money that is charged for what you do is, well, I'm saying it's the best cost-effective and efficient way to make the dream live, the journey to extraordinary. Am I okay with that, or did I,
No, yeah, I think you hit it right on the money, and I will never allow money to be a factor where we have a passionate young man or young woman playing high school soccer, playing in the Champions League, that wants to continue playing. And I was one of those, and I didn't realize it till my senior year that, I'm not done playing just because I'm graduating high school. It doesn't mean that I can't continue, and that's where my college search started. And again, there was none of this available, 40 some years ago when I graduated. So I just dated myself. But, it's important that, the World Cup's been so amazing so far. It's only going to get better. I love seeing the passion of, the Ecuadors beating my Germans and Turkey, pulling one out late against the U.S. But, it reminds me so much of high school, how, it's about playing with your friends, representing your high school, representing your parents, whereas sometimes the club soccer part of it is more business-like. It's about, how do I get to my end goal? Whereas, high school soccer, especially the Champions League, the walkout song, the Champions League song, the significance of the event just gives you the chills. So what I wanted to do today, Kevin, is promote a couple of companies and partners that I feel could be a great asset to the Champions League community, athletes in general. And I'm going to start off with a company I just spoke with yesterday called Scout Lab AI. And what they do is I gave them a full-length game of one of my clients. And the report I got back after it analyzed their movements, their physical, technical, tactical, psychological characteristics, based on their age group and their level of play, blew me away. And what a great thing you could communicate to a college coach with. What a great thing you could give to your high school or club coach to work on things that maybe you want to improve on. So Scout Lab AI is going to be a partner that I'm going to build into my offerings because I think it's a very neutral and extremely deep and analytical tool to help players learn a little bit more about, what we would see if we were to see them play or watch a highlight video. So Scout Lab AI would definitely be highly recommended. The second tool that I use a lot is it's called Roster Hunter. Half the time is, what colleges do have openings, what universities, have needs for my position that I might play. But it also breaks it down into, what's the average freshman playing time? What's the makeup of the roster in terms of transfers, internationals, and high school graduates, which is important for players to know. So make sure they're not chasing the wrong schools, and then how many junior college transfers and so forth. So Roster Hunter is something that I think is an important tool to make sure that you're looking at the right colleges if you're graduating from high school and you're looking to continue to play. Then we all know social media, good or bad, is very prevalent and very important in our lives these days. And I use a good friend of mine whose son's actually a client of mine called LMG Sports Marketing. She was a former gymnast at LSU, and her specialty are the really, really valuable topics of NIL, name, image, and likeness, where I can endorse a product, a service, etc., and I can get paid for that as a high school or college athlete. She teaches and helps people with their social media management, which can be a critical factor when it comes to recruiting if you don't do it correctly. And then she helps you with your branding, because that's basically what social media will do. It'll either build your brand or it'll destroy your brand. So I think it's really important that you have someone that can help you with that. And then she also makes like, the Canva one piece graphics that maybe show what your schedule is for a tournament or, and stationery or web pages. So she has a very great process on how to be consistent with your logo and your brand all the way through the process.
Wow.
Two more left. I use a company called Making Athletic Connections. My good friend Jonathan works with clients that might need help with a highlight video, and he's a international scout. He has three sons that all play soccer. One is on the Trinidad national team. One is over in Germany playing, and one is playing club soccer locally. Jonathan is from Trinidad and Tobago originally, does phenomenal work, very reasonable with his fees, and knows exactly what the college coaches are looking for. So he's a huge asset in my portfolio. And then last but not least, I have a friend of mine who used to be a professor at Harvard, and he has a company that does college planning, but strictly on the academic side. And it's called the University Consultants of America. And with all of these, Kevin, I can send you their links or their contact information if somebody wants to reach out to them, or they can reach out to me. But what University Consultants of America does is they help you prepare your essays, your applications for admission, maybe your one-on-one interview if you're going after a really high academic school. And so many of these high school players in the Champions League are also phenomenal students. And this is where he can help them and educate them on exactly what are they looking for, how are they evaluating their resume or their application, and they can position themselves, in the best possible light for the admissions people. So those are five companies or five services that I deploy in my business. People that I trust, people that are in it for the right reasons. They're passionate about the game. They're passionate about helping others, which is what the high school Champions League is based on. And it's like a weed. Champions League's just growing and growing and growing. I'm excited with Perry and Jim Harden, the rest of the committees, Dave Wilson. They're constantly having conversations in new markets. And anybody that is on this call, if you have a young man or young woman, whether you're in one of the markets that has the Champions Leagues or not, I want to offer a free consultation, free one-on-one mentorship to that young man or young woman, because that's how I get to where I am today, and I want to pay that forward.
Wow, man. You're like that person that's in front of me in the drive-through line. He took care of it.
Oh, I love those people. Starbucks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go, man. And you have working relationships, professional working relationships with the other national sponsors, Select Soccer. And the deal is it comes with a name, Tim McAvoy, and then you would Coolidge.com with the Eddie O. Uh, these these people, there's no big this and that. It's all hands on. Come on, you know, is that something can happen in good positive movement, being a scholar champion or a student athlete, to say, hey, I almost cannot afford not to have these services and products. Uh, I,
Well, they're just, there are people that are in this space for the right reasons. They all have a huge soccer background, passion for the game, and some people just may not be aware of that. And I like using people that are involved with the Champions League. We use Select Soccer for our senior All Star game. Took care of our staff, took care of our teams, and we had people that help with awards, and we all do our little piece in whatever way it is to support these young men and young women in the Champions League. Because high school soccer is still the purest form, in my opinion. Champions League, rewards your successes by being a district champion from previous year and playing against teams that you normally maybe would not get a chance to play against because maybe they're in a different classification, or they're a little further away. So I love all the philosophy and the components that the Champions League is based on. It's free to play, coach collaboration. It's in a local market most likely, and that's why I think it's taken off, because high school soccer has a real important piece and place in the soccer environment here in this country.
Wow. Well, we didn't rehearse this, so I can't edit it. But this talk about town, talk about the nation. The Gatorade Player of the Year 2-time, Maddie Di Maria from St. Louis, Missouri, Coriezu. They're the number ranked team in the United States, undefeated, untied. And another Wales certified friend, Mia Hurd, left Milwaukee school, left us a year, her senior year, because she had enough college credits to go to Marquette, where she was going to play some ball, and all that. Now Maddie's taken off her senior year to go to UNC. Obviously, somebody you got to have the college credits in high school to get there. And I was wondering, do you all have it? It seems like it's a trend in the recent years.
Yeah, there's definitely people that are reclassifying to maybe a different grad year, or they're graduating with an AA degree. Yeah, and the Eligibility Center, which covers Division 1, 2, and 3 for the NCAA, just wants you to make sure that you have to have 16 core classes in order to be eligible to play college sports. So I'm sure this young lady had that, because you need 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 2 years of science, 2 years of social science, an additional year of English, math, or science. That gives you a total of 12. And then the last 4 are usually your language, religion, government. So if you have those 16 core classes and you want to play Division 1, you need a 2.3 grade point average, which shouldn't be an issue for most athletes, and a 2.2 for Division 2. But that's what determines athletic eligibility. And Kevin, I had a player one time that played high school and ODP, and she was 16 years old when she started at Duke University. Um, but you've got to be physically, mentally, technically, and socially, prepared to be in an environment that, normally you don't enter until you're maybe 18. And this girl had all the right tools, and she was very successful. So,
Wow.
the
Yeah.
right person, the right time, no issue with them going and graduating early and starting their college or pro career.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Down in Florida, you got this cat going from Ivory Coast, right from high school down to the Ivory Coast. And he's in the World Cup, and, he's a big time guy. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's the world's game, right? Internationals, make our colleges better. Americans go abroad and make those teams better. It's a game for everyone. It doesn't cost really anything to play. That's why I love high school, because it's free. And the Champions League, again, takes care of the expenses that are involved with the Champions League games. So, what a great platform and environment for these kids to play their sport and pursue their passion.
Yeah, I really was proud of myself. I said that somebody had some Crocs on to come to practice, and training. And I said, hey, man, just take the shoes off, man. Go barefooted, you know. Learn how to hit the ball. See your foot hit the ball in between your toe and your instep. That's that sweet spot.
Yeah. You remember those suckers that they used to put on your shoes called sweet spots?
Oh my God, no! Oh man, I don't
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
They were like little wraps or straps that you would put over your shoe and kind of position it, like you said, right above your arch and near your toes.
Oh,
And they said,
oh.
hey, as long as you strike the ball with this part of your foot, you're going to get a clean strike and a good true flight of the ball. And
Thank you, Ziggy. Thank
yeah,
you. Oh yeah.
I'm dating both of us, but remember the Predator when it first came out from Adidas?
Oh, come on, man. I had enough money to, get a bag of chips and a bologna sandwich. That's all.
That it looked like a tire when it first came out, and it had these big ridges of rubber. It was extremely heavy. Look at it today. It's just the things it can do to a ball. We had a chance to try out one of the first couple of prototypes when it first came out, and again, the soccer evolves, and the science behind shoes and
Wow.
and jerseys, phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I tell you, like I said, started it. If I had you back in the day, I think I possibly could have went to Harvard. But anyway, as we begin the journey of realizing that the start in 11 is about 11 minutes or thereafter, I want to say we went a little over, but we were right in line. We got the guardrails. Is
Right,
if
we had some time in the bank from the last podcast, so
Balum
I'm,
baby, yeah, you
I'm
go.
calling it in.
All right, wonderful. So have I uh, given you the opportunity to say what you wanted to say?
Absolutely. I just again, I'm so passionate about the game. I love connecting people either to the Champions League movement or provide tools or introductions to people that can help someone get to the next level, and that
Yeah.
it's a very satisfying feeling. And we're spoiled that we get to watch 6-9 hours of soccer a day if we want with the World Cup right now. And who knows how many people we're inspiring.
I
You
got
know,
to go to
uh,
the movie house with the big screen. That's where I see my soccer.
yeah, some of these fan fests are amazing.
Yeah.
The passion for some of these countries, it's so fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, Ziggy, so you know that I know that uh, we gotten good reports on you, And so we're going to offer you an invitation to be somewhat of a regular with the starting 11 if you have the time and passion to do so.
Hey, count me in. You know I love the chat soccer 24/7.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you hear it here because that's where it's at, is in the United States National High School Champions League starting 11 with my special guest host, Siggi Nagele from Nagele College Planning and the old Whales. All right, ladies and gentlemen, till the next time.